about to be reacting to how corn with a C, like the food corn, became the American dream. Hey man, nowadays you see it a lot more common. People turn 18 and they just want to sell their bodies, which is not cool because they're going to regret it when they're older. They still, when I was 18, bro, 17, 18, bro, I'm a different person than I am now. And that's only 4 years from now. So I know they're going to regret it when they get older. And not to mention, it's not even hidden how they make it seem like it's hidden. The only reason why the people that y'all see popping, like the Catch Me Outside girl or the Lil Tay, whatever, for whatever reason, is because they had some type of fame when they were younger. And they just brought their audience from when they were younger to now, which is a weird, still weird. If you're looking at Catch Me Outside or Lil Tay explicit videos, you're weird. But let's see what they're talking about.
Today, there's no better way to become rich, famous, and celebrated in modern culture than by making porn videos. Look at the porn stars from days gone by. They mostly ended up dead, addicted to drugs, or washed up on the back streets in downtown LA somewhere. Now look at Mia Khalifa. She's a multi-millionaire who hosted
So
shows.
they sold for a temporary bag, just to fumble the bag. So you just sold for no reason, pretty much.
NBA legends, sat front row at Paris and Milan fashion weeks, modeled for Vivienne Westwood, and Moschino runs her own jewelry business and has been interviewed by
She got a jewelry business? What is this so I can make sure my people don't wear that?
And Moschino runs her own jewelry business
Shatina. Okay, make sure my people
and
not
has
wear
been
that.
interviewed by basically every major outlet on earth. She was a paralegal from a Lebanese family, and she didn't churn out film for years. She just claimed she made 11 of them over a few months. And within a few weeks of her debut, she was the #1 performer on the biggest adult site in the world, where she received death threats, was shunned from her religion, and her family stopped speaking to her.
ISIS was that?
Because if you know, bro. She disrespected her religion like crazy. She got disowned by the whole country. Had to. I'm sure she not welcome home no more. Something bad gonna happen to that lady. I'm not wishing it upon her. But bro, you know people take their religion serious. For you to sit there and do that, it's a reason why they wear that stuff over their face to keep their body concealed, and you're gonna expose yourself like that on video. Ooh wee boy,
I'm not allowed to
Ooh, they might. I'll be surprised if they ain't got no hit off of her, boy.
Lebanon. I was banned from the Middle East.
Yeah, I bet. Imagine getting banned from a whole country. You got banned from the Middle East.
Which is crazy because they're the ones who watch my videos the most.
Then she walked away from the industry forever after making just $12,000, or at least that's what she claimed.
Damn, you just sold your soul for $12,000. Damn.
Grand total of 12,000 US dollars. And yet you made millions and millions of dollars for both Bang Bros, the company that you worked with, and Pornhub, the aggregating site.
Right, where your money
How
go?
could
I seen you pop out in a McLaren or something, or was it a Ferrari? It was something fat. You doing all these videos, and on all these different networks, and you only got $12,000 to walk away with. Your manager, I will sue your manager. Sue the manager. They threw your potential in the garbage.
That's just how it is.
No,
But
it's not.
between then and
No, it's
now,
not.
Mia Khalifa, like so many others, has used porn to become, in every sense of the word, famous. Not infamous, but legitimately famous, rubbing shoulders with
Paris Hilton. I guess you can say Kim Kardashian was already famous, but it blew her up to a different level after that. But
and getting invited to their cocktail parties. Something huge happened in the world of adult content to create a pipeline to status and generational wealth. For Sarah Jo Chamoun, which is Mia's real name, she grew up right alongside the internet, and more specifically at a turning point for the sex industry.
I mean, I'm a kid who grew up playing World of Warcraft and using dial-up internet and fixing the computer at home when it broke. Like, that was my job because I was of that generation. So I think that I've always had a knack for what I like to consume online, which in turn influenced how I like to be online.
Adult content back then was an analog affair, driven by VHS tapes, magazines, and adult video stores. The money was limited and controlled by the gatekeepers. Performers like Mia got paid per scene, with no way to self-publish or go independent. And like so many others, she was pulled off the street in Miami by a random man who asked if she thought about modeling, suggesting she come down to a studio and take a look
hit her with that play on her.
around. The studio was Bang Bros, one of the leading studios at the time.
It wasn't just,
Modeling.
hey, do you want to
So how you get from modeling to shooting explicit content? They must have threw a hefty price at you or something.
It was more so, oh, you're beautiful. Like, would you like to do some modeling? Oh, you have a great body. Like, I think you'd be great in nude modeling. Things like that. And after I came and toured the studio, it was very respectable. It was a gorgeous location. It was in Miami, in Doral, Florida. It was clean. Everyone who worked there was nice. All of their cubicles were decorated with family photos. Like, it was nothing.
She signed the paperwork, came back the next day.
Hey y'all, she giving y'all the step by step. If y'all ever want to start your own network, you know what I'm saying? Just go get a nice area, get some good staff, some nice friendly staff, good vibes, and just go pull a girl off the street. Say, are you interested in modeling? Yeah. Would you be interested in taking naked pictures? Hey, then, hey, you in there, I guess.
Filmed her first scene, and a month
That's
in,
what I
they
got
put
from
her
that.
in a hijab, which was incredibly controversial but decisive for her career. She told the studio that the video was going to get her killed.
I verbatim told them, you guys are going to get me killed.
And they said,
They just laughed.
She did it anyway, and after it premiered, the avalanche started. Radical Islamic sympathizers hacked her Instagram and covered it in propaganda. They photoshopped a picture of her onto someone being beheaded. Her family disowned her.
They photoshopped a picture of me onto someone getting beheaded. And they said something along the lines of, you're next.
She quit.
See, it get that serious, bro. You play with these people religion. People base their whole life around this religion. And you gonna play with them people religion like that? Come on, bro.
Less than a month later, but none of this blew over like she hoped it would, and she couldn't get back into regular employment.
I realized that I can never work a normal job again.
Bang Bros disputed her
For
account
real?
of her career and her argument
You
that
wouldn't say if she was to try to go work a normal job. You don't think that she'd get recognized by at least 2 or 3 people up in that job? Come on, man.
ripped her off. They eventually created a website dedicated to calling her out, called factsbeatfiction.co, pushing back on her claims and stating that they paid her over $178,000.
Damn.
They even said she filmed before with a different studio under the name Mia Khalister before Bang Bros, and that her entire narrative was just a total lie. She claimed she walked away from adult content with her head held high, but adult content hadn't walked away from her, so naturally there was only one way to climb back up the ladder, and OnlyFans took over the entire industry at that exact moment. When Mia joined OnlyFans in 2020, she framed it as a moral response to the Beirut port explosion that killed
So
280.
she quit corn as in the food. She quit it just to go independent on OnlyFans. Nice. Over 100 people confirmed dead, more than 4,000 injured. Ooh.
people in her home country. She publicly pledged to donate the first $100,000 she made on the platform.
In 2020, I decided to join OnlyFans
And that ain't gonna get you unbanned, woman.
after the Beirut blast.
Money don't.
I made the
money
decision
don't
to
buy morals, woman.
join OnlyFans and donate. If I was able to make $100,000, I am donating $100,000, and that's why I'm joining this platform.
It doesn't take a very high level of skepticism to want
I'm selling my body so I can give money to my country. Your country don't care. They just banned you. They don't care about you like that, woman. That's what the government is for. And elected officials. What is she talking about?
whether that was true or just ethical positioning. But either way, it clearly worked out for her career. This is where Mia Khalifa became the bridge between two completely different worlds. The old world of adult content that chewed the old porn stars up and spat them out, leaving them in places like the tunnels under Las Vegas. And then there's the new world of adult content that makes celebrity entrepreneurs. Let's take Sophie Rain. In 2022, she was a 19-year-old waitress barely covering her bills. She didn't come from an adult entertainment background, but OnlyFans was still her exit.
My sister was doing OnlyFans, and I was like, maybe I'll try it so I can get out of this serving job, because I was just serving. I was working literally every day, 9 to 5.
Restaurant?
It's called Papa Joe's. It was some Italian restaurant down in Tampa. But it was fun. Like, I loved it. I loved serving, but I just wasn't making money.
It all kicked off with her infamous Spider-Man video.
Every time I was like, no, it's not me. No, it's not me. They're like, no, you're lying. It is. So I just kind of ran with it.
It wasn't even her, but she made about $95 million in 3 years from a case of
Ooh, that's a generational lick. She don't even gotta work no more. You don't even gotta sell your body no more. At this point, she doing it for the love of the game. $95 million. That's more. That's gonna last y'all generations. Your life. That's gonna last your. My bad. That's gonna last for multiple generations for your bloodline, bro. 95 million.
mistaken
A lot of
identity.
people don't even make $1 million in Nah,
So
not
in
like
3
10
years, how
million,
much
let's say that.
have you made?
I think last time I checked, it was at $95 million.
Holy
Here's what really happened. In September 2023, Sophie and her sister Sierra posted the Spider-Man themed photo set on their OnlyFans. Around the same time, another creator called Naomi, who happens to look like Sophie, filmed an explicit video in a skin-tight black Spider-Man suit. The internet saw the photo set and the explicit video and conflated the two. Millions of men became convinced Sophie had secretly leaked hardcore content. She clocked that it was free traffic and started dressing up as Spider-Man on TikTok to deliberately stoke the rumor. There is no real Sophie Rain's Spider-Man video. The whole thing is a fantasy that lived in the minds of her audience. She also created scarcity.
Y'all don't think she targeting children by posting that Spider-Man? What kind of sick freak do you have to be as a grown adult to get turned on by Spider-Man? A girl in a Spider-Man suit. What?
Found her content by
Targeting
describing
children.
herself as a virgin, though she backtracked on that a year later. I don't think people talk enough about how much these addictions can quietly affect your life, especially when it starts early in your life. It's one of those things that seems harmless at first, but over time it chips away at your focus, your discipline, and even your confidence. And the worst part is, most people try to fix it with willpower alone, which almost never works long term. You just end up stuck in the same loop. And that's why I want to talk to you about this. There's content blockers out there,
You almost called me, man.
definitely not out
Hold
there.
on.
Screen
This
and download this
succubus
today.
right
Use
here.
code MOON to try
I don't
it
even
out.
think the word
So
for her is a succubus.
her
bro.
content involves some
She's a
level of
different.
nudity,
She's
which
a
is
demon in her own
probably
realm.
understated,
Hold on.
but she's definitely
This lady right here, 1,000 decks in a day in 24 hours. How do you How do you do 1,000 decks in 24 hours? What? What are we talking about here?
out there doing what Bonnie Blue is doing, which epitomizes
Nah,
exactly
she the
what
final
her
boss. Bonnie Blue is the final boss of the house.
content has become, selling the fantasy of personal access to an attractive woman. Sophie now has 16 million Instagram followers. When she walks through a shopping mall in Miami, paparazzi camp outside to ask her about her rumored collab with Drake. The mansion she co-founded with 7 other OnlyFans creators was described in the mainstream press as the Gen Z version of the Playboy Mansion. She's constantly associated with big celebrity events. The industry has swallowed itself and given birth to something entirely new. A monetized intimacy economy where the content can be softer, the stigma lower, and the money exponentially bigger. All while the sexual acts are actually increasingly optional.
What the f are the guys paying for at that point?
It's curiosity, and then also
With that
like
specific person,
Yeah.
I guess, right? Yeah.
yeah, because you can sit there and have a conversation with me, you know, like you don't get that just from going on Instagram.
Mia got paid $12,000 for explicit permanent graphic content.
Put it
Sophie
all out there and got banned from her country. Boy,
got paid $1.4 million by one man for messages. And that was back in
1.4 million by one man. It's a crazy world out here.
2025. It's over $6 million now.
I want to say last time I checked, it was like 1.4.
Wow. Wow.
But that was like that's of all
My
time.
Just to
That's
get
of all time.
messages from
And
a
I've been
girl.
doing this for going on 2 years now.
Who the f is this guy? That's got to be like a fucking Middle
fucking-
Eastern prince.
scared.
I can't say much obviously because I'm not going to air anyone's shit out.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy.
Rightly or wrongly, it still destroyed aspects of her social life. Her parents both got fired and she became their provider.
Right now, like I'm supporting.
As
him.
a father, I'm disappointed, bro. I'm disappointed. I would feel like a failure. My baby girl has to sexually sell her body to provide and put means, like to put money in our pocket as a family. I feel like a failure.
They both got fired from their jobs because of me. So I feel a little bit of guilt in that, and like I feel like I need to provide for them also because my fault, I guess.
Sophie Rain built an empire on a video that never existed, but a couple of years before that, a young actress called Chloe Cherry ran the inverse strategy for the same result. She'd moved to Miami the week she turned 18 to do adult content, and spent the next few years on the same result. She'd moved
Ain't this that girl of
Fault,
Euphoria?
I guess.
Sophie Rain built an empire on a video that never existed, but a couple of years before that, a young actress called Chloe Cherry ran the inverse strategy for the same
That is that girl of Euphoria, because her lips big as shit.
result. She'd moved to Miami the week she turned 18 to do adult content, and spent the next few years becoming one of the most watched performers on Pornhub. Then during lockdown, she filmed a pornographic parody of HBO's teen drama Euphoria. Not long after,
You know, I never seen her until Euphoria. Like, I didn't know about this girl until Euphoria.
The real creator of the genuine Euphoria, emailed her asking her to audition for the show. She got the part, again proving how can scaffold women to a new path in life. Within months of her first episode airing, she'd walked New York and Milan Fashion Week, fronted a Versailles campaign, and starred in the music video for Charli XCX's 360. In just under a year, she went from being the most watched woman on a specific category to being a face the fashion industry was actively competing for. This isn't entirely new. 20 years before OnlyFans existed, a young LA socialite proved that a leaked sex tape didn't have to end a woman's career. It could actually build one. That woman was Kim Kardashian, one of the most
But
widely
nah,
known.
she did that on purpose. She seen. We all know the story. If you don't know the story, Paris Hilton, her sex tape got exposed or whatnot. It got leaked rather than exposed. So Kim Kardashian, like, she began. Edit that out. She gained a lot of success off of, and a lot of attention off of posting a sex tape. So I'm about to post a sex tape as well and see where this goes. That was strategically done, and Ray J also stated that it was.
On the planet. The promiscuity of people like herself and Paris Hilton was creating entrepreneurs without going through the industry. It was classier, more refined, and more marketable. The Kardashian tape was filmed with her then boyfriend Ray J in 2003. It went
Hey, I was
public
born
in
that year. Nice.
2007. At the time, an explicit video of a young woman with no particular fame or career wasn't viewed as the norm like it might be today. When these tapes leaked, they were massive news stories, and the entertainment industry was paying very close attention. Because somewhere in the media frenzy that followed, someone in a boardroom ran the calculations.
That's why 18 plus is a category on the website. That's weird. Like, that's kind of strange.
Said that what happened to Kim Kardashian could be converted with the right packaging into one of the most lucrative television deals of the decade. Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered 8 months later and propelled the whole family to the center of celebrity culture for nearly a decade. Today, Kim Kardashian's worth roughly $1.7 billion, and the tape that kicked it all off is a mere footnote in her CV.
Would you be where you are had there not been a sex tape?
No. What is there to think about? No. Thank you to Ray J for recording him blow my back out. What is there to sit here and think about?
You know, I think that's how I was definitely introduced to the world.
Yeah.
It was a negative way. So I felt like I really had to work 10 times harder to get people to see the real me.
She's quite honest about Impact, saying the worst part wasn't the humiliation itself, but having to explain the tape to her grandmother. She says she was grateful her father had died 4 years earlier and didn't live to see it.
I had to explain that to my grandmother. So I think I was more...
And you're most glad you didn't have to explain it to...
my father.
Which is basically a premonition of how many OnlyFans models feel today. OnlyFans relies on publicity and self-promotion. You can't easily shoot scenes under an alias and hide them as a double life. What Kim had inadvertently proved is that attention itself is the asset, and you need to market yourself as a person. Whatever generates the attention is almost secondary. The market logic of modern rewards whatever generates the most clicks, and everything else is downstream of that rule. Which is exactly why marketing stunts are getting more controversial and extreme. The Hall of Fame today looks more like an arms race where performers compete for a share of the audience's attention. Like in 2019 when Belle Delphine sold jars of her own bath water for $35.
Yeah, niggas, bro, just, you gotta be some type of sick. Like, why are you buying bath water from? Whatever, bro.
She faked her own arrest with a photoshopped Metropolitan Police mugshot and briefly ran a account that turned out to be videos of 2 roosters. Her whole thing was just absurdist performance art dressed up as sex work, and it made her one of the most famous e-girls on the internet. In 2021, a 17-year-old called Bad Barbie, who had become briefly famous on Dr. Phil for telling the audience to catch her outside, teased her OnlyFans launch for weeks on Instagram. She then opened the account the day she turned 18 and made $1 million in 6 hours. Lil Tay would then follow in her footsteps years later. In May 2025, an Australian creator called Annie Knight hired a swingers club on the Gold Coast and had
the biggest flexer doing the OnlyFans. Like, who could have predicted that? Her selling her body on the internet, the youngest flexer. What are we doing here? What world do we live in, bro? Not in a million years, you couldn't have told me that little girl was going to end up selling her body. What? No, bro. I just
with
thought she was funny as hell.
583 men in 6 hours. She was then hospitalized with vaginal bleeding and posted the hospital photo to Instagram, captioned, "I guess 583 guys in a day isn't that good for your body." In October 2024, the 23-year-old British model called Lily Phillips invited 101 men into an Airbnb and had sex with all of them in a single day. She filmed it as a documentary. A clip of her crying afterwards, her friends arm
Oh,
around her.
100. My bad. I said 1,000. My bad. 100.
200 million views in one tweet. She has then since faked a pregnancy, faked an arrest, filmed a classroom roleplay with 18-year-olds, and announced she'd be beating the existing world record by sleeping with 1,000 men in a day. And then, of course,
That's where I
there's
got
Bonnie,
that 1,000 number from. Weirdo.
who took the record at 1,057
No,
men in
no.
12
Bonnie Blue. There you go. Yep, I know I wasn't wrong. Fucking weirdo.
hours.
They
She
all
also
look like
faked a
this. The last three girls, well, the last two, they definitely look like each other. They look just alike.
pregnancy and will risk arrest,
You'd probably think they
deportation,
were
or
sisters.
practically anything to stay relevant. And somehow this has gotten her on the podcast circuit like all of these girls. These stunts echo the much wider trend across social media where AI slop and brain rot content dominate for their acute ability to hijack our dopamine. Mr. Beast, Sidemen, and others mastered that formula with escalating challenges that became more and more outrageous, leaving nothing off the table in the pursuit of attention. It's all pervasive, and adult entertainment naturally made a home in social media's algorithmic universe because ramping up the shock value is so easy when it's someone's body. Behind all of these stunts is usually an incredibly well-engineered business that proves how much porn has transformed. They have staff, a logistics operation, and marketing budgets rivaling tech startups. Probably the biggest weapon they have in their marketing arsenal is those who oppose them.
It's all the Karens sat at home that are going to complain about me being here that are making me rich because they make it blow up. And then when they're sat at home complaining about it to their, their husbands, they're then wanting to come and subscribe.
Putting their self-destructive elements of the lifestyle aside for a moment, they're savvy operators who understand the algorithm, the incentives, and the market better than anyone. Sophie Rain's instinct to leverage a video that wasn't even hers is annoyingly smart. Bonnie Blue will hang around.
Yeah, she definitely ran off with a bag with that one, but I just feel like she's targeting little kids, and that's kind of weird in a way. It's like you're preying on kids to boost your numbers on a sexual platform. It's kind of weird, but y'all don't want to talk about it. I guess double standards though, right?
Any big influencer at the time, whether it be Andrew Tate or the Nelk Boys, as she knows doing so will keep the money pumping into her operation. Mia Khalifa found a way to make herself look innocent in front of mainstream audiences. And this is why culture had to stop ignoring them.
Innocent.
Every magazine, podcast, and TV channel is starving for attention, and these women are sitting on more of it than anyone else in the room. Ignoring them doesn't make them go away, it just hands the traffic to whoever covers them instead. So the commercial decision becomes to platform them, like when Bonnie Blue said this on UK daytime TV when anyone could have been watching.
You're like a Premiership footballer. You're
I mean, I work with balls, so it's the same
There we
thing.
go.
So, barely legal, 18-year-olds. Because as I started my content, I realized it was not necessarily relatable to the average person. And I wanted to make my content relatable. I'm just a girl, I'm relatable, I'm sort of the girl next door vibes.
People commented things
like I said, the double standards of the world. Imagine a nigga, like, okay, even with, okay, I'm not using that you were raised situation because that's weird. That's far from different. But let's say a dude is preying, like a 28-year-old dude is preying on freshly 18-year-old girls. That's not predatory. That's not. I couldn't wait till you were 17. I couldn't wait till you turn 18 so I can do things to you. That's not weird. That's like they pre-order and they pre-saving. That's not weird though. That's a conversation for another day, bro.
A prostitute at 10:35 a.m. is okay for family viewing? And how can they have this conversation on morning TV as if it's normal? Imagine if you were a kid watching that asking your parents who Bonnie Blue was and what she meant by working with balls or switching to barely 18-year-olds. But there is another side far away from this very public layer that we've not yet explored. Because while the
I'm 30, I want me a barely 18-year-old. I don't want no girl my age. What do you mean by barely 18? Bro, like what? Weirdo.
Conversation has spent the last decade arguing about whether those women are empowered or exploited, two-dimensional or sophisticated, victims or villains, the really smart ones.
But hey,
or
she
those who-
kind of smart though. She using that shock value in a sexual way, like Mr. Beast use it. Some way Mr. Beast use it, the shock value, but he gets his money back off of that. He's not like really exploiting himself. Is he exploiting people? Conversation for another day.
the industry. You can almost certainly picture some of the girls in this video. You know what Mia looks like, you know what Kim looks like, you'd recognize Bonnie Blue in a supermarket. These are some of the most visible people alive. The men who own the platforms they work on, however, are notoriously invisible. When Mia Khalifa was filming for Bang Bros in late 2014, Bang Bros was independent, but was soon rolled up into a vast internet empire backed by institutional cash and managed by faceless executives. The parent structure behind most of her distribution was a Canadian-operated conglomerate called MindGeek, which owned Pornhub, YouPorn, RedTube, Brazzers, and several
I didn't even know it was this many sites. I mean, some sites were like, yeah, them gotta be sites.
Other sites, all controlled through a network of shell companies across the world. One of its recent owners, a guy called Bernd Bergmair, wasn't known to the media or photographed in public until recently. MindGeek wasn't just built for the love of the game, it was
I only know like 3 sites. No, I'm not getting into that, bro.
with nearly $500 million from JP Morgan Chase, among other major investors, and weirdly, even Cornell University. The same institutional capital that owns stakes in Meta, ByteDance, and Google is also indirectly exposed to the adult platforms and the companies that profit from them, which means ordinary people's retirements are, in very small and very diffuse ways, invested in the same economy that Bonnie Blue is helping to expand. OnlyFans is the next level, springing out of the studios and making the girls do most, if not all, of the legwork. And when you look at what OnlyFans really is, it looks exactly like Amazon, Fiverr, or DoorDash. Thousands of near-identical thumbnails of near-identical women doing near-identical poses, all fighting for the same attention.
And then on the whole time, they're not going to all get the attention that they're looking for. Just because of the simple fact it's oversaturated, and I don't understand why people paying for it anyways when the site is free. Why are you paying to go see one girl when you can go on a free website and see thousands, tens of thousands? Now let's say like hundreds of thousands. I don't know how many stars it is in the world, upcoming stars. Hundreds of thousands is different
all
girls.
promising more than the last one. It personifies the direction of today's tech industry. It's the gig economy with sex as the product, using a subscription model backed by viral marketing. On the top layer, the man who owned OnlyFans until his death in March was worth $4.7 billion. On the bottom layer, for every Sophie Rain, roughly 10,000 women upload content nobody is paying for, subsidizing the traffic that makes Sophie Rain possible, while the platform takes a big cut, routed through a holding company and into a private equity deal being negotiated in Silicon Valley, all to completely our entire society and do untold damage to our culture because of this. What has been labeled as empowerment really involves giving someone on OnlyFans the ability to negotiate the terms.
Me personally, I don't know nobody that personally uses OnlyFans, and if they do, they probably do it on the low, but it's just weird and stupid. That money could be used doing something else. Like, bro, what are you talking about here, bro?
Exploitation. Take home a larger cut of it and then call the result a business, which on the individual level looks like a meaningful improvement versus Mia Khalifa's situation in 2014. On the collective level, it's built the most efficient content extraction machine in the history of the internet. Millions of women competing against each other, producing an unlimited library of material for a platform they don't own in exchange for a wage that, for most of them, works out to be less than minimum wage. The thing the industry figured out somewhere around
$80 a month to sell your body, to bust it open and sell your body. Boy, morals go cheap these days, don't they?
Is that you don't need to exploit anyone if you can get them
at this point, y'all selling y'all morals and y'all integrity as humans for a cheeseburger. Not even a french fry with a drink on the side, just a cheeseburger, not the meal. What?
Themselves. You just need to build the infrastructure, take a cut of the door, and let the market do the rest. And those who become mainstream celebrities using as a gateway to something more create something to aspire to, even though most will never make it.
Hey man, I said what I said and y'all heard what I said, but let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. And I'm gonna catch you niggas in the next one. Yes,